can't air here because of some of the things that happen on them. But when you understand the industrial scale of the Islamic Jihad in Europe, and where, I mean, I have a stack of news today with courts ruling in Finland and Sweden that Muslims are allowed to rape children because it's their culture. Now imagine what it's like 12, 13 years, whatever it is later, for Tommy Robinson, a hero of free speech and of nationalism and of Christianity and of just basic goodness, to own a tanning salon and some businesses in the small town he was in, and to see Muslims running a kebab shop with kidnapped 9, 10-year-old girls, putting them in cars, dozens of men having sex with them, the little girl's crying. He starts calling the police. Nothing's done. Muslims come over and start fights with him. He beats their ass. He's not a guy talking crap. You've seen Antifa and Muslims attack him, and he's not a big guy, but he's a lion. He fights back. He fights. And that's why they're scared of him. I'm not going to show all those videos today, but imagine the worst thing. Because I've done Skype with him. I've talked to him behind the scenes. I've seen his little sweet kids. Little sweet, beautiful children. And I've got 3 daughters. One of them's 2.5, almost 3. The other's now 12. The other's 15. And Tommy's a lion. But I got to tell you, I'd be killing people. His daughter got sexually assaulted. But it's standard. You read about how kids can't get in pools now in England or Germany because the Muslims, man, like if a girl ain't wearing a full-on burkini, they're fair game. So there's your headline. Tommy Robinson's daughter sexually assaulted. He was arrested, but they realized they couldn't make that dog hunt, so they had to release him. And then I've got articles here. In fact, I meant to have it. Here it is right here. Document cam shot, please. I see this crap every day. Chicago's sanctuary policies responsible for rape of 3-year-old girl. He grabbed the girl, takes her in the bathroom. The dad's trying to break in, starts raping her, admits on the stand he was raping her. The left says, let him go. That's on Infowars.com with direct links. 34-year-old Christopher Punte. How about Punta? And it says allegedly, but then it goes on, he admitted on the stand that, oh, it was wrong what I did. I couldn't help myself. Raping the 3-year-old. The dad goes to take the son to the bathroom, who's also little. This guy grabs the daughter, runs in another bathroom, begins raping. He hears the daughter screaming, Daddy, help me, Daddy, help me, goes in and fights back. It's a total pedophile takeover. And then you got the Muslims putting little kids in fires with smoke, make them cry, so they can run through as human shields invading Greece, with Erdogan openly announcing it. If Hitler would have just had some crying kids, the whole world would have just stood down to him. So, Tommy, it's incredible. What was it, 12, 13 years ago, whatever it was, correct, you've been in jail 3 or 4 times now, months, starve you in prison. They put you in the Muslim block so they can attack you. They had them throw bleach on you. I mean, it's beyond a movie. If they made a movie, what happened? People would be like, what, every 5 minutes there's an attack? You're just running a tanning salon. They're like raping kids. You go call the police. The Muslims come. You beat their ass. You get arrested. I mean,
yeah.
It wouldn't be, I'm not saying I'm tougher than you, man, but it wouldn't be beating ass with me, dude. 3 or 4 Muslim dudes come in there and try to attack me. They're going to die. And the way you've been persecuted, brother, is incredible. So you're here with us, and I set all this up because I don't have words for this. Tell people what just happened. You can't even go on vacation to a hotel pool now. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
So it's a holiday resort called Center Parcs. My friend was staying there, so you can get a guest pass. It's only 30 minutes from where I live. So my friend I bought me, my 3 children, and I let them bring a friend each. We went to a swimming pool. I was sat with my wife. They're all off playing on the slides. And then my youngest, who's 8 years old, come running up to me, come running over and say, this man's just grabbed me. He just grabbed my bum. He grabbed my bum. At which point she's 8 years old. So she's 8 years old. So I said, I questioned her to say, could it have been by accident? Has he brushed past you? Explain what's happened. And I took her through to show me and talk to me specifically what happened. She said, no, Daddy, he grabbed hold of my bum doing a fist
and
like
if they had
this.
just said drag queen story time, it'd be okay. This is all pedophile training. But please continue.
So I've then walked over with my daughter. I've told the rest of my children to stay there. I said, come and show me who the man is. She's walked me over. She said, him, Daddy. She pointed at a man. It was an Asian male. To be honest, I doubt. I don't think
they always
he is
call him Asian. It means Muslim.
I don't think he'd be. I don't know. He looked Indian, so I don't know. But she pointed him out. I've then said to her, go back over there now. I've gone up. I've looked at him. He's with another male. There's two of them, but he's standing specifically with another male who's wearing a pink cap. And I went over. I said, "Oh, lads, who are you with here? Like, have you got children with you?" And they said, "No." I said, "Any women with you?" "No." So this is a children's holiday resort. It's where you take your kids. Yeah, it's a kids swimming pool. And here we have two middle-aged men. And then instantly I'm okay. So you've got you've got a couple of middle-aged men, three middle-aged men. And then I've said, something's just happened with my daughter. What's just happened with my daughter? And straight away I could tell by his reaction. So I went over not knowing, but instantly I knew by his reaction. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I grabbed her bum by mistake. I pinched her bum by mistake." And at that point then, he's gone to go to my right. I've stood in his way. He's gone to dart, basically. I've stood in his way. At that point, we've tussled. My hands are swinging.
Oh, brother, I'd have slammed his head in the concrete. Good job taking that piece of crap on. I mean, it's time to stop putting up with this crap. They're trying to test us all and train us that big fat men can come into school and molest our children, and it's time it stopped. So I commend you for smacking that piece of trash upside the head.
Just someone pressed the buzzer press, all the lifeguards come. At that point then, my children were hysterical anyway, but at that point then, the lifeguards have come. I've said, you need to get the police. He sexually assaulted my daughter. They've then took him away. I've then sat with my children for about 3 hours, speaking to the manager of the hotel. The manager of the hotel's come up and said, all the police are here. They've got him. They need to speak to your daughter. My daughter sat down. She sat down with my wife, gone through what he done, how he grabbed her bum. And it's not happened on a water slide. It's not happened where there's any rapids or any waves. It's happened in stationary water that's this deep.
Well, that's where sharks attack, is in still, clear water. So the shark attacked, yeah.
And then my wife so my daughter's detailed what's happened. Then the manager comes up and says, right, now they need to speak to you. Now, to be honest, I was expecting, okay, there's been an altercation. He's got a bloody nose. I'll go downstairs, and they're going to have arrested him, but they probably need to speak to me now about what's happened, about how I detained him. So I've gone downstairs, and then they've said they're arresting me. At which point, they said they're arresting me to prevent further injury, they said. And I said, prevent further injury? I've sat here for 3 hours waiting for you. Yeah.
No, your crime was calling them for the sex assault and touching a member of the Supreme Force. So they believe maybe a Muslim. You touched a god. Your daughter is nothing but meat for him to enjoy. Well, they acted. That's the victim in this, according to them, is the Muslim, is the male that's grabbed my daughter's bum. Sir, the god. Yeah, and then they told me, and then they told me that they've not arrested him, and I couldn't believe it. Finland just ruled women can be raped. In Cologne, Germany, they told women, wear a bracelet saying don't rape and don't wear short skirts. That's the left. Tell women don't wear short skirts because Islam and the East is God. The West must fall. Your children are ours. Yes. Finally, the war on for your mind. Now, I have the data. I have the statistics. You've all seen it. Rapes are up thousands of percentiles across Europe. 80+% are Muslim men. For some reason, Pakistani men is the largest group. But there are others involved. And if you go to a lot of Eastern cultures, let's say Central Asian cultures, not the Japan or place you should be killed if you grab somebody's kid. No one would do it. They'd kill you. The police would kill you. It wouldn't be in the news. They'd just kill you right there. You would never make it to the police station. But, so it's not Asia. It's that area of Central Asia and the Middle East. targets girls because these men can't get a woman. And there's a real shortage of, quote, women because it's such a controlled commodity in the Middle East because women are slaves and people that have them hoard them. So the left worships Islam and worships the East, brings it in, and then tries to get us to adopt it. And Tommy Robinson's been trying to keep his head down. He's trying to take care of his family. He's been a political prisoner a couple times the last 2 years. He lost, 40-something pounds like a concentration camp victim when he first came out, was on Tucker Carlson. He was on our show like a week later. And he's come back now. But, I mean, we're talking in the Muslim ward in solitary confinement where they would come and put their butts up to the crack in the cell and piss and crap on him. I mean, this is what they do, trying to demoralize him. They were poisoning his food. He couldn't eat the food, so he lost all the weight. He would only eat the little tuna fish he got daily and crackers that were sealed because they were poisoning his food. Because Muslims run the prison now. Because they're tyrants and they're bullies. And I won't stand for it anymore. So your daughter, Tommy Robinson's daughter, has been sexually assaulted. Tommy Robinson arrested for reporting the sexual assault of his daughter. Isn't that his karma? Because 13 years ago, or he'll correct me, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, to tell us, Tommy, when you first got arrested, because you're famous, you said there's Muslim grooming gangs. They won't call that, they call them Asian. And you caught them doing it, and then it came out they were killing kids and cutting them up and putting them into kebab machines. That's mainstream news. Tommy said that like 5 years ago and looked it up. It's like, oh, the guy was convicted of cooking kids in a kebab machine. I mean, you're watching this as a salon owner. You're not very old now. What was it like for you to just be watching children sex trafficked? And I mean, you're not a hero. I'm not a hero. You're the normal man. You stood up for little kids, and now your own daughter's been assaulted, and you're the criminal.
With regards to what's happened with my daughter, do you know what makes me feel sick is I've watched the response today. All the people who would be part of the Me Too movement, who would be demanding that we take, do you know, as a young girl, as an 8-year-old child, as children, as victims who have been sexually assaulted, she done everything right. She comes straight up to us. She told us, I'm already thinking, how many other children did that man touch that weekend in that swimming pool that didn't go and tell their mums and dads? Now, we tell people, so my daughter comes up and she tells me. She tells us what's happened. We restrain him. He's arrested. Then my worry now, my daughter come home from school today. The teachers rang up. She come home at lunchtime, yeah? She wasn't feeling very well. Now, she started, as soon as they said the police were coming, she got so emotional, yeah, because she has a view of the police because of what's gone on with me. Then the police turn up and they concrete that view because then her dad doesn't come back. And then she sits there all night crying, upset with my other children.
Let's say it again. Let's be clear. She goes to her daddy when a man grabs her ass. Yeah. And she goes to the man genetically protect her. You go and stand up to that piece of trash, and the police came and took you. She now sees them as Darth Vader.
The police come and took me, and although she's 8, so she's not following everything on social media, but my other 2 children are. They've gone to school today. Everyone's talking about it. They'll know that I'm being prosecuted. I face 6 months in prison. What message have they sent to my daughter? That's what's pissing me off. It really is winding me up.
No,
it's winding me up. It's winding me up that she's coming home from school. She's probably worrying. She's probably upset. She's done everything right. And all of the newspapers, what they've done today, every national newspaper in my country, Sky News, BBC News, the video's there. On that video that's playing now, my daughter sits and gives a statement and says what that man done. It's not me saying it. It's not political Tommy Robinson talking about it. It's an 8-year-old child giving an account of a man sexually assaulting her. And they're coming out today. I've seen the Times journalists, another Graham, what's his name, Mike Graham, another man from Talk Radio, have come out and they're calling my daughter a liar. Now these are the people who would be saying we must listen to victims. And it's
By the way, we're going to play her statement coming up. I forgot you sent it to me, and I've got a problem. When I see something this horrible, I have trouble seeing it again or even playing it. So I'm not covering stuff up. It's like we're going to air her video statement on what happened to her. And I saw the news this morning calling your little darling, who people can see her. I've seen her. Such a sweetheart. Keep going.
None of the mainstream, none of them. They've all run a headline saying I've assaulted someone at a holiday park. None of them have mentioned, I mean none of them. Go and look at BBC News article on this case. Go look at Sky News article on this case. They just say I've assaulted someone at a family holiday park. None of them mention the fact there was a sexual which is my child, which isn't me confirming it. The police on that video you've got confirm it. My daughter confirms it. It's all confirmed. None of these news articles, and what they've done, when you see the power of the media, I mean, like every little newspaper in my country has flown this story out across my entire country. I'm lucky that even though I'm banned from social media, that video that you've been playing has gone so far. I've added up to over 4.5 million people in the UK.
By the way, 4.5 million people have seen that one, and I've got the video sent me to your daughter. What's the best place for people to find the video while it's still up of your daughter's statement about the sexual assault?
Well, go to tr.news. Go to my website.
News.
You'll see it on the article.
Yep, and that's his daughter. We'll play it when we come back. But let's be clear. I don't know what the bigger scandal here is, that they allow the sexual assaults to continue in MASH, or that the media and the police work in unison to suppress the man that literally first exposed. How many years ago was it, because you're on record, first exposing the Muslim grooming rape gangs?
I've just done a presentation last week in Russia where I showed documentation and newspapers from 2004.
Oh, you showed it in a giant super stadium. I mean, Russia cares about this.
From 2004. So what's that? 16 years? 15 years? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying 13. I'm always behind. So for 16 years, and let's talk about you for a minute. I'm going to come back and talk about you. When we come back, what was it like, Tommy, when you first saw him trafficking little kids?
Well, it was, so it happened to our cousin, and it was, you know, no one dealing with it. And do you know what? We had a different view even as children, because many of the girls in our school were getting picked up by older Pakistani Muslim men. But a lot of the kids in school just viewed the girls as slags in school, as children. It's only then as you come out of school and you grow up, you think they're victims of these gangs. You had 12-year-old children being picked up by men, having sex with them, being raped by them. And, but yeah, I know we're on trade. But when we come back after the break, I'll give you the true statistics on these crimes, which I just prepared. And I thought I know all of this scandal. I went through victim statements.
It's worse than you thought. Stay there. And again, Tommy Robinson fights back. That's what he does. Somebody assaults his daughter, he stands up to him and knocks him down. Your psyche. It's time to stop giving them hospitality and humanizing them. When the Islamists invade Greece and put children over fires and make the children cry before they run through police, they're terrorists for using children as human shields. And the corporate media that goes along with that are even worse. They have all the footage of them, Westerners, directing them to torture the children before they ram through the police in their military operations. And their great goal to capture what's left of Christendom. Tommy Robinson is here. I'm going to play a minute and 50-second clip of his daughter. He can say her first name if he'd like. She's out there now. And I have the articles here. Chicago knew this guy was a criminal, that he'd attacked people, he committed crimes. They didn't let ICE pick him up, and now he raped a 3-year-old. He's confessed to it. While the dad took the little boy to the bathroom, he grabs her and takes her to the bathroom and starts raping her. And he said, "I'm sorry, it's wrong what I did." The left says, release him. Give us Barabbas. Finland says, we're ending rape. Just submit to it. It is a total cuck event. So, Tommy, I want to play this clip of your daughter that the mainstream media, we put the articles up on screen for TV viewers, are actually calling your 8-year-old daughter a liar. I mean, Chris Matthews told a guest, "You're very beautiful." He's had to resign. Drag Queen Storytime, they'll have men with children riding horsey on them with the parents getting off on the obvious pedophilic behavior. I mean, this is open pedophilia. And those of us that aren't into this, we're blind to it because it's just so alien. It's like, what the hell is this? You've got the floor. I can talk and ask questions all day. Whenever you're ready, throw to the clip of your daughter. Go ahead.
You got the clip there?
We've got it. I'm asking questions here. I could talk for hours about this, but what else do you want to tell people? You want to play the clip? You just...
Yeah. Well, my thing is that none of the media, they've all run a story. They've not mentioned that my daughter was assaulted, sexually assaulted. They've completely left that out. So
it's not in the headlines. It's Tommy Robinson arrested for assaulting someone at a pool.
It's not even in the story. In 90% of them, it's not even in the story. is not even in there at all.
No, type in Tommy Robinson, click Google, and it's all Tommy Robinson assaults innocent, loving person at a pool.
It's and this has been pushed around the whole country, where the reality is, I was restrained. And I said in my police interview, if I wanted to, I could have kicked that man all around that swimming pool.
He was trying to escape. You stopped him.
That's it. I done what I rightfully should have done. I haven't jumped all over him. I'm in court on common assault, not GBH. I've not battered the hell out of him. I've gripped him up. He's got a bleeding nose, and then the police have come. And then they've made a decision to arrest me and not arrest him. They haven't arrested him. He's not been arrested. What he has not been arrested. My daughter, they left him with his mobile phone. Him and two other weird-looking men who are in children's swimming pool in Centre Parcs have been let go with their phones, and none of them have been arrested. He hasn't been arrested. I've been arrested. And it's just... so that's terrible. That's sick.
No, let's start over. We should have... Tommy Robinson's daughter assaulted, sexual assaulter who admitted to it, not arrested, and you've been arrested. I mean, this is the inversion of reality because they want to complete their invasion.
In the police interview, the copper says he's admitted grabbing her. He's admitted grabbing her. The copper says it in my plea. I've ordered my police interview. He says it. He's admits grabbing her flesh. It's like, come on, man, what's going on? I've read today 2 comments. I've been following it, and 2 comments have been put up by people whose family work at Centre Parcs, and they both said similar. The reason he wasn't arrested is because he's got mental problems.
Oh.
That's what I've read. That's what I've read. I've read that. I don't know if it's true. Again,
no,
but that's
we always
what I've read.
human. Oh, he assaulted he buried the little girl in the backyard. He's got problems. He's a Muslim though, so he's God.
He sexually assaulted my 8-year-old child. Do you know, my daughter, and even to see her, I picked her up from school today at 12 o'clock to see her coming out, and to know that, for me, it's the knowing in her mind that she's thinking about it, that she's going to think about this, that she might feel she's done something wrong by telling her dad because he's been arrested. That's what upsets me more, because I think she's done everything right. And then not just with that, but I see some sick bastards going online and saying that my daughter would be lying or I've coached her what to fucking say. I'm out on a family day out with my children and their friends. They bought a friend each. We're in a swimming pool on a day out.
No, the truth is there is an existential envy of the West, and they would never get away with this in their own countries. They're here to rape us. Just like the left is, just like the pedophile story hour. It's all about raping and having fun and having the media back the raping of the West because we haven't started fighting back yet.
Do you know the numbers, Alex, yeah? I was just preparing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Give people the numbers. They don't want us to know about who's doing the raping.
I was preparing, so I was looking at each town and city. So I was going through the demographics. I looked at Telford. Telford is a city where there's 5 dead bodies from these gangs, okay? 3 burned to death. They set them on fire, burned them to death. Another one they killed with a car. Another one they killed with heroin. She was injected with heroin in an overdose. 5 people murdered in one town. The Muslim population of that town in Telford is 1.8%. That's like 3,600 Muslims in this town. When you half that to get rid of the women, you're left with like 1,800 Muslims, yeah? When you actually take off the under 16s and the over 65s, the figure you're left with is 956 Muslim men. So there's 956 Muslim men that fit the age criteria and the age bracket of the men that are involved in these gangs. Now, in this one small town, the police identified 1,000 victims, yeah, in this small town. Then Operation Chalice is the police investigation, has identified 200 Muslim men in that town involved in these rapes. That's 21% of the male Muslim population of one small town in England have been involved in the rape of children in that town. Now, there's only 2 towns in the UK we have the figures for. Telford, 1.8% Muslim, and Rotherham, 3.7% Muslim. If you take the demographics of Rotherham, okay, when you take the demographics of Rotherham, it works out, I'll go through the figures, it works out that off of the statistics, because only 3.7% are Muslim, it leaves that there are well, 15%. If 50, Rotherham, it works out 15%. When you do all the demographics and you get rid of the children, you get rid of the olders, it leaves 15%. 15% of the Muslim population there, and 21% here. These are the only two towns we have figures for. Many other towns in the UK have tried to get investigations.
And they're committing almost all the rape because the Imam of Jerusalem said 3 years ago on video, "We are going to Europe to rape their women, to take them."
Well, in this presentation I just gave, I play videos from two imams confirming what they're being taught. But the thing is, if you take that statistic, if you take 15% and you take 21%, say we meet in the middle at 17%, and you take 17% of the male Muslim population in our country, we've not nearly 3 or 4 million Muslims, you then get, with the only towns we've had the numbers for, Telford and Rotherham, 1.8% Muslim, 3.7%. What do you think it's like in Luton, where it's 35%? What do you think it's like in Bradford, where it's 40%? What do you think it's like in Birmingham? What do you think it's like in these towns and cities?
They control the police. You don't know. It's a total sex dungeon takeover.
Oh, in this presentation I give, I show a family tree in Rotherham. Okay, you've got the Muslim groomers, 3 brothers, Muslim groomers. You've got the deputy leader of the council, Muslim groomer's cousin, who's involved in the rapes. His daughter works with a charity involved with the grooming victims. In the middle is a Muslim commentator for the BBC. He's their cousin. On the other side, a police officer.
It's a total pedophile cult, just like every other New World Order system. You have identified it, their mothership. We always staggering to me to watch the entire corporate media, from Disney to ABC to CNN, defending sexualization of children and pedophilia. And that's why, from the bottom of my heart, I thank the listeners for supporting InfoWars with your prayers, by spreading the word, and by buying products to keep us on air. That's all I want, is to beat these people. My God. It's so incredibly evil, the things they do. It's so amazing. But we're still here on air, and you're spreading the word, and people are waking up. But you see why they want planetary control to carry out their evil desires against our children. It's not just the Muslims that want to do this. It's the globalists at every level. And it's just evil incarnate on this planet. So please remember, you're the only defense of the children. And when you support InfoWars by spreading the word and by praying for us, by buying the products, you make it all possible. And you need to get the products. It cleans out your cells. It's a huge immune system booster. It's back in stock at 40% off. And then we have the Ultra 12 now back in stock. And so much more. Ultra 12 back in stock. We have the Vitamin Mineral Fusion back in stock. We have all our great silver solution products. But it's your purchase of those products that fund this operation, plus their products you need. So don't just buy storable food. We actually have a company that actually has it and actually ships it at InfoWarsStore.com. Others don't. They're lying to you. It's crazy. But we have things that boost your immune system, and that is just as important. So get your DNA Force Plus at InfoWarsStore.com. Get your Vitamin Mineral Fusion at InfoWarsStore.com. Get your Ultra 12 at InfoWarsStore.com. Get all the products at InfoWarsStore.com. And that's what allows us to stay on air in defense of liberty. And the enemy has said taking us off the air is one of their main operations because we're telling the truth. So keeping us in attack position is critical. So I want to thank you all for keeping us in the fight. I want to play this clip from your daughter here in a moment. But Tommy, we're getting into more of the statistics as we went to break of just how incredible the invasion and the rape of Europe is.
They won't. Any towns with large Muslim populations, mothers have been screaming out in Keighley in different areas. There's been blocks by council, by government, to get any numbers in these towns and cities for how many victims and how many perpetrators. The only two we've been given the numbers for, 1.8% Muslim population and a 3.7% Muslim population. So they're relatively small Muslim populations compared to many of the towns and cities. And we've got 1,000 victims in one, 1,400 victims in the other. The amount of rapists we've got across our country. And this is when I started going through all the towns and cities, looking at the statistics, I prepared and started looking through what the victims are called, all the racial slurs, the religious comments made in these cases. and then I listened to the rapists, I listened to the victims, and then I looked at the scripture to see if there's defence of it. So that's what I prepared. It's a long presentation I gave it the other week in Russia, looking, and basically my government have just come out and said they're not going to give the findings of their investigation. They've done a 5-year investigation into the characteristics of these gangs. What is driving these gangs are 84% of the convictions of Muslim men. What's driving them? And they're not going to tell the public. Why not? Because if they tell the public, we'll understand these are Islamic motivated rapes. This is supported by scripture. These men's actions are coming from their intolerance and their belief and the system that they follow that views non-Muslim women, that says they can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves, that says multiple times in the Quran that they can do this. That attitude, that mindset, where does it come from? That's what the investigation by the government should have been. And I dug back, and in this presentation, I go through and look at all of this. But we still have so many people, the government, it's got nothing to do with this.
By the way, I want to air your presentation in Russia. Do we find that on your website?
We're just editing it now. So in about a week, it'll be ready because they had so much footage to go through.
Well, I want you to come on and intro it. I'd like to premiere it here and have it on your site. But will you please premiere it with us?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Promise you'll tell us.
Did I just hear Andrew Tate on your advertising?
Yes.
Wicked, man. You know Andrew's from Luton.
Yeah.
He's a Luton lad. Yeah, world champion, 4 times world champion. But yeah, he's a Luton lad.
Yeah, so he's a tough guy.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, man, and he's him and his brother, born and bred in Luton. I know they're not there now, but
I've hung out with him. You look at his hands; they look like steel.
Yeah, and he smashed it. He's so successful. He's done great since day dot. He come from nothing. If you know where he lived, yeah, he lived in the roughest and toughest estate in our town. The estate that was burned, like it's famous for. There was massive riots for days there. It's where there's the gun violence, the crime that's there, and that's where he's from. And he's always said, he's been so confident in everything he says, and that's why I admire him, because so many people get annoyed by him because he says, this is how you're successful. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be powerful. And he's a proper alpha male, which people hate. It's great.
The globals are threatened by male energy that isn't evil.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I was sitting here listening to that voice, and I was like, and then I heard him start talking. I thought, Andrew Tate. I've just sent him a voice note saying, what's going on? I just heard you on InfoWars, bro.
In fact, when I heard that ad, it hadn't aired in about a month. We need to get Andrew Tate back on the show, so please set that up. Speaking of something depressing, though, let's play this clip. This is your daughter, 8 years old, after being assaulted, but the media is now attacking and saying she's a liar. There's no Muslim can ever commit a crime. They're angels. They're perfect. They're better than Jesus Christ. So here she is talking about what just happened a few days ago.
Who was he with, the man? Did you see when he was coming out of the pool?
No, I don't think his friend was with him.
He was just on his own. And which way was you facing? Show me tell me which.
So, you know there, like, there's that side furthest away.
Yeah.
A little bit more there, I was standing there, and then he walked that way.
Walked round you.
No,
So say like this is the pool, yeah? On your way out, you come out this way, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Was you standing this way? You were standing facing, so your back was against the wall.
No.
No, the other way then.
I was talking to Maisie.
Oh yeah. So you're looking there, yeah. So you're there, and then he's come through where?
And then that's the entrance.
So if you're standing there like that, he's gone past you like this.
Yeah.
And then done.
Squeeze my bum.
Squeeze your bum like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like he's even So you're like this or you're like this?
Talking to Maisie.
You're saying talking to Macy. He's gone past like that. Okay, and then gone like that.
Yeah.
And when you say squeeze your bum, could he have rushed past and accidentally knocked your bum? No? Show me like what? Like a squeeze with your hand, like a clinch. Like that, like a squeeze. So on your which cheek?
This one.
On that bum cheek. Okay. And what did he say? What did you say? Has he done it? Did you?
No, then I went straight out of the pool and told him.
That's when you come running up. And what did he say? Nothing. Nothing at all. Did he look at you?
No.
Just walked off. On his own? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, man.
I got to tell you, Tommy Robinson showed real restraint because, again, I mean, my daughter comes up and tells me somebody did that, and the guy admits he did it. Head's going in the concrete. We're going to play basketball. And you know what? Then they wouldn't be able to cover it up, though, because his brains would be everywhere. But I get your restraint. But they just turned this guy into a victim. And
the thing is, like, if it's a mistake, yeah, which is what he tried to say straight. If it's a mistake, if you touch or grab a young girl, how you do that, I don't know. But if you did, you say sorry. That's why I said to her, what did he say?
Well, if you grab a full-grown woman's ass, you get a ticket or you go to jail, or her husband kicks your ass. You grab an 8-year-old's ass, you get your teeth knocked out. I mean, this is out of control, man.
And how can police officers get told what I got told there, and then not arrest him, but handcuff me and take me away?
Hey, this guy that raped the girl in the bathroom who'd been let go, he admits that the Democrats are saying release him.
And
if you illegal alien shot the woman in the back and said he did it, and the left let him go. They said, you're allowed to kill her. She's white.
In this same video, when I'm getting released from the police station, they make it very clear. If I tell anyone his name, so I know his name, I've got a picture of him here. If I tell anyone his name, I breach my bail, which means I go straight to prison. I'm not allowed to tell anyone who he is.
And by the way, it's dramatic footage of you with the police. We should bleep it out and play it, but I mean, you couldn't believe it when you called them. They came and arrested you. What evil scum. They really are scum in the UK. I mean, the police have just become total globalists. They're the sword to kill England. They are. How do they hire this trash?
And the media, so I'm quite sitting watching the public's reaction. Now, there's many people, many Muslims say, look, I don't like Tommy Robinson, I hate him. But what the fuck is this? What has happened here? There's so many people who are against me, which is encouraging the real people, who real.
All right, you're going to host the last 5 minutes. I'm going to shut up and have you have final comments. Then we got a bunch of news we haven't had. Democrats are now publicly calling for coronavirus to kill Republicans.
I also want to say,
lay down. He's been vindicated. The town he exposed for giant child kidnapping sex rings where children were murdered, years later was confirmed exactly as he said. But you can't carry a man like that on your shoulders. He's an example to others. No, you have to imprison him and torture him and destroy him. And now the scourge of the giant rape gangs is so bad his own daughter's assaulted. The man admits it on tape. But Tommy Robinson is arrested. That's the nature of tyranny. Tommy, we got 4 minutes to break. I want you to have a final statement here and host the last 4 minutes.
My final statement would start with where the battle is. The battle is in information. Perfect for InfoWars. The battle is in information in the sense that anyone who's watched the video of what happened with me, it's gone viral. I'm happy that millions have seen it. Millions have seen the truth. But by removing my social media and my ability to talk about it, by taking away my platforms, every mainstream media news outlet is now lying to my country, to everyone, saying a completely different narrative. No mention of an assault against my daughter, just pushing. And they know that most people only read the headline. So pushing the headline that I've attacked someone who's innocent. He's the victim in this, apparently. The man that sexually assaulted my daughter is the victim, which is why a platform, Alex, or InfoWars, like you have here, and alternative platforms, and you, every single one of you watching this, everyone that shared the video, everyone that's gone on social media and received a ban from Facebook, everyone that's gone on YouTube and re-uploaded it himself, you're the reason, because I don't have a platform, you're the reason that 4 or 5 million people have watched that video in the last 24 hours. You're the reason. So that's knowing that we are ourselves, the media. Alex, sorry, my breathing is always terrible. But whilst I'm on that, how I come out of custody, in October, and I needed a break. And I sit here, Alex, and I watch you, and I know the stresses or the pressures that this throws at you, whether it be court cases. I'm in court on the 12th of this month, the 24th of this month, and now the 2nd of April. It is lawfare, okay? They tie you up, and I know you've faced the same prosecutions. You're facing the same attacks against you. So I admire the fact that you haven't even had a break. I've had a break. I went quiet. And when I went quiet, people said, where's Tommy? What's he doing? I was making sure my family are right, my kids are right, because I've had instances at my home. They've had to move. I've had problems. Now I've had this next problem. So, yeah, I've watched as you just crack on, rolling into towns on the top of tanks and that. just see every time after I flick through and try and keep up with what's going on, I see Alex Jones steaming in with a tank and a megaphone. I just think, go on, son, go on. But yeah, I'd like every one of you sharing it. My biggest worry here is that my daughter will think she's done something wrong. Can you imagine the consequence for my 8-year-old child if I'm sent to prison for this? Can you imagine what that's going to be? And I know so many people are talking about coming out and supporting me. It's on the 2nd of April at Luton Magistrates Court. I should not be in court for handling a paedophile who had sexually assaulted my daughter. And he should have been arrested and he hasn't been arrested. I can't believe we've chased up today. My daughter's chased up today. I'm also looking at 2 other options of private prosecutions because people have threatened to kill me. They've threatened to kill my family. They've threatened to kill my children. No one's arrested. Please do not arrest them. The rule of law is not implemented equally. It's just not. You're seeing the mad craze now. I'm watching what's happening with the refugee crisis. The future, it's worrying for everyone. But where do we start? I've been talking, and look at that. Even that, look, Tommy Robinson arrested for restraining man who sexually assaulted his daughter. That's on ours. Every other news headline is just that I've attacked someone. And do you know what is more sickening for me is what's happened to my daughter, but watching the way it's been used by the left and by the media to completely attack me. And you know what? You can hate me. Hate me, yeah? If you want to hate me. Attack me if you want to attack me. But my 8-year-old daughter is innocent in all of this.
Tommy, you're absolutely right. But here's the good news. No one I know is buying it. And these police and the government are aiding and abetting the rape of the people. Tommy, we love you. Next week when your big speech comes out, we really want to have you here with us, and please stay in contact, brother, and keep it up. And your daughter knows the truth. She doesn't feel bad. She knows justice. She knows God. She has a great father and a great mother. We got to salute your wife, what she's been through. Thank you so much, Tommy.